back to Down the Hill. We got what you today, Dave.
And Joey?
You know who we never seem to piss off?
Huh.
The white Muslims.
The white Muslims. Yeah, they stay quiet.
The Caucasus. We never fuck with. It's not. I don't think we don't fuck with them. I just think they follow the religion how it should be. Not saying that Arabic Muslims don't, but for the most part, like Russians like Khabib, we don't.
Oh, those kind of Muslims.
Yeah,
oh my God, yeah.
The Caucasus. Yeah, those are fucking Muslims, bro.
They're like their own race. I feel like they're like fucking.
Yeah, they're Caucasus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I am. Well, I'm not fucking Caucasus. I'm probably Russian.
Super blood.
I could see Caucasus because of the nose. Got that ethnic nose.
That shit's healthy. That's a meat. That's a meat.
I swear to God, it's a motherfucking bicycle handle, son. No, but for real
I'm
though.
gonna ride this bike.
For real though. Fuck a bike.
Fuck a bike.
Let's talk about the train.
You came here on foot.
Oh yeah, I did.
Said I'm one click out. Said Roger that.
Yeah, I only traveled from about 3 clicks.
Let me grab the equipment, the tools.
Yeah, let me set up shop. Oh, but like I said, fuck the bike. Let's talk about the train.
The train?
The Trump train.
The Trump train. It came. It came.
Yes, it did.
And it caused the destruction it usually does.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It didn't. It isn't derailed either.
Yeah.
And it didn't get derailed by 2 assassination attempts.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Like I think I've previously spoke about this, but I couldn't watch a fucking YouTube video for about 2-3 months without.
Seen the Trump train?
No, it wasn't even the Trump train. It was the anti-MAGA.
Oh.
From the
propaganda.
From the Kamala Harris puppeteer.
Kamala.
What if? All right. What do you think about before we get into what we should have covered the other night? But
the nitty gritty.
Yeah, we should have covered it the other night, but it was a little discombobulated. What are your thoughts on the vice president elect,
Mr.
Vance? I think
Mr. Vance, Mr. JD Vance. Anytime, like in school, there was like a teacher, and like they had a kid with initials as names. They were always a badass kid. So I just feel like that's some wisdom we can all carry, and like maybe JD Vance is the Russian spy that they think Tulsi Gabbard is.
Yeah, maybe he's the warmonger that everybody, him and Marco Rubio, I believe, are the biggest warmongers in politics today.
Yeah, Liz Cheney's pretty bad as well.
Yeah, I mean most Republican think tanks are bad about it too.
Think tanks are kind of scary.
Well, I say think tanks instead of like political influencers or shit like that, because I feel like the think tanks is a more neutral term for it, because they're really just those are the type of people that have like the biggest agendas. You know what I mean?
The think tankers.
Yeah, the think tanks. I'm
not very familiar with them.
Like your Ben Shapiro's, your fucking Steven Crowder's, you damn
like lobbyists, but like social media influencer lobbyists.
Well, people with humongous platforms on
like Tucker Carlson.
Across all platforms.
Yeah, like political correspondents.
But they're not politicians though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean that's like all of like DC is made up of is like the supporting staff for all those people. So like I mean you've got like the analysts and shit, and then you have like the political like I don't know what you call them, like experts or whatever, where they like do this for fun and they like build up the reputation of the politician.
I can't imagine it. Literally, I go and I'll do like I'll go and do like 15 to 30 minutes a day of just researching. So what I'll do,
try to hit that on the shitter. Do something productive in that.
Well, it's strictly objective. I feel like because of the podcast. You know what I mean? Like I don't really give a fuck. Actually, I do, but it's in a way that I'm like I want to see. I want everything to be affordable again. I'll know if that's happening. The job market, everybody is noticing it's been harder to get a job the past 16 months. You know what I'm saying? like I want to see, or 18 months. I want to see that, and I will see that loosen up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you'll see the numbers drop. You'll see the unemployment numbers drop. That's Trump's specialty is creating jobs. So that's how he stimulates the economy. You know what I mean?
mhm, yeah.
Um,
I wonder what's the appropriate amount of time to be like, all right, Mr. Donald, like, when the fuck are you gonna do the thing? When are you gonna make it happen? Before everybody, I already know, like, of course, the left wing side, like, coverage in the media is like, oh, he's fucking it up first day. Like, I guarantee you the right did whenever Biden went to
well,
office.
right now he doesn't. He can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah, I
He
know.
can't do
Yeah,
anything until he's inaugurated.
yeah, yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, whenever that time comes.
But the thing about Trump is he isn't gonna pull a fucking he ain't gonna pull a Joe Biden. He ain't gonna
Get
go.
sleepy?
No, he ain't gonna go in his first as soon as he gets inaugurated. The first things he's gonna do is gonna be things that he is doing, that he is implementing. It's not gonna be things that he's going in there and changing
Mm,
and liberating. No one's not to say he won't do that, but that's not his primary objective, and I think that's what separates him from uh, the Biden and the Kamala puppeteer.
yeah. Well, I think it's kind of crazy is whenever, like, Trump loses or whatever in 2016 and in 2020, from 2016 to 2020, you see, like, how the media and everyone treated, like, Joe Biden whenever he started to decline mentally, and, like, how the Democratic Party responded to that, and, like, that, like, all the people that work the White House, like,
My thing is,
get to, like, be, like, a lesson for the
I
Trump
do,
administration, I
I
think.
do have some skepticism about the 2020 election because this is something I just thought of in my head while I was fucking smoking a joint yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Uh, if he didn't win in 2020, why was there such a Why was there such an emphasis to indict him?
Yeah.
And why were they still carrying on spending God knows how much money on the fucking collusion trials and shit?
Yeah.
Like, why was that? Why did they? And I'm just asking, like, why was that an emphasis afterwards? Like, why was it an emphasis to keep on trying to get him locked down, bro?
So he could literally not be able to do what he just did.
Yes, and they failed terribly. They failed terribly.
It
But
just didn't work out. I
it
mean, the
ain't.
plan was there.
He's not like this crazy fucking. He might be this crazy mastermind in terms of like he might actually know what the masses are thinking. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But the
he might be
masses,
tapped
his
in.
support is what got him through that. Like it played out. He knew it was going to play out how it was.
I mean, his presidency wasn't like horrible. So I mean, like the second time around, like
I don't expect it to be
if he's as
horrible.
good as he like says he is, like about like people this, people that, blah blah blah, middle class, whatever the fuck. Like,
Listen, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't really matter if if we become more split and divided
yeah,
socially. Like it really does not matter to me.
yeah,
Uh,
really.
so
Why do you say that?
well, I think that I think the socio political part of society comes last in terms of like the the economical and like the
And socioeconomical is like your like class, like middle. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah, 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 yeah. But that's like, but that'll like as long as they're because right now I don't believe a middle class exists. So like there's just
Oh, really?
lower class and the upper class. And then you got the 1%. So
Yeah. I mean,
uh
they do have a lot of like a shit ton of money, yeah, but there's not as many of them as there is like middle, lower, and upper class like people.
yeah, so like I think should be national defense should be number 2.
Yeah, after
Economical economical uh the economy should be like probably the primary focus. And then
I saw a lot of polls saying that like economics, like I mean, like during election night, I was watching on NBC or whatever the fuck, and they said that like economics was like the top voting
yeah,
concern.
yeah. No, and it should be like our budget should be, all that shit should be. And
Yeah.
then the social
Oh god,
the social like
I got a hole in my sock.
our
Fuck.
social health our social health as a nation should be probably the third, because in my opinion, yeah, it does matter. Uh, it does matter about like how the like basically if the people that live in this nation are happy or not,
Yeah.
because look
Do you
at
mean like social work as in like what do you mean by that?
I mean like um
Because I'm thinking like welfare,
think
like
about it, how much
that kind
representation the government gives all three of those subjects I just mentioned.
of. Yeah.
From one to three, most to least representation, most to least effort into uh basically into most effort put into them.
So like social work is like
I don't mean social work. I mean like there shouldn't like when I mean social, like there shouldn't be no rising issue about uh abortion. Um,
that should just be a
yeah,
given thing.
like abortion, uh,
So like
LGBTQ rights, and what all
like
that type of
human
and
rights. Would
yeah,
that
that stuff should be
okay?
granted to the
Yeah.
states in terms of the federal attention. That should be those should all be state powers. It should vary state to state.
So big on state control. I do like state control as well. Kind of thing.
Just for the socio political aspect of the nation.
Yeah.
So like basically make it easier for people to go where that's kind of what I mean, where that's kind of more radical towards their liking.
Hmm.
So like if you're really against that, if you really are, I'm gonna actually say if you're like really big, no, I'm not gonna say bigoted, but if you're against being around, say, uh,
A certain group of people.
any group of people, then
Yeah.
you should have the option to not live around them, and they should have the option to not live around you.
That's what I like about how much land the American continent has.
And I'm not educated at all, but I mean, that just in my mind that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I talk about it constantly, but shout out National Park Service. That shit's I'm rocking with the national parks.
I'm thinking like what I just said was very sounded like like I was advocating for segregation. God dang it.
It somehow always just manages to come up behind you and just
Dude, I don't know why I'm always fucking going down that road, dog. It gets on my nerves sometimes.
is that the white guilt they speak of? The
Mm,
people, the society,
I don't even
the
know.
group.
It's probably just I have no idea. I don't know. I read a lot of Malcolm X.
A lot.
I read a lot of old social rights activists back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, they really had a good message, so I mean, they had to put like good people forward to spread the words. Spreading the words is always an important part of a revolution, I think.
Yeah, no, I think the social rights movement, or the human rights movement, whatever the hell it's called, civil rights movement. I think that was like the single most important example of socio political battles won in America.
Yeah.
Aside from
I mean, that also,
the actual liberation of slaves. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it also kind of shows like how like our government is made up. Like, yeah, the bad people, of course, can have slaves and whatever, and that's a whole different thing. But like, have something so kind of out of the world, like dystopian, like slavery is like a wild concept. So like, for our government to have how it's built, to have a nation where that's like acceptable to where we are today, where yeah, maybe it is a little too in your face, but like it's not as bad as it could be. Like no one's getting like I'm
yeah,
not being lynched or anything.
yeah, like
It could be worse.
that. Like no one could tell me because
Yeah.
I regret to say, but I did like the ancestry. No one could tell me my people owned slaves, and if they did, they did not own them here.
Yeah,
Uh,
elsewhere.
yeah, no, because I mean,
So slavery anywhere else except
I would say
America
my,
is okay.
I would say pretty much, I would say pretty much the only blood that I had over here
Uh,
during the time of slavery would have been Native
yeah.
American. So like they didn't own slaves,
Wow.
and if they did, they freed you. You know what I mean?
Free the game.
So I mean, I'm not your oppressor. I'm not. Never that. I'll call it how I see it. But
Yeah.
the if you're not educated on slavery, I would seriously recommend it. It's a horrible thing. But I mean, look at the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah.
Okay, so those slaves were coming from somewhere. Like they had a source.
Yeah.
Like I've said this a million times. You really think that the white man physically enslaved? Like no. Like there was sub-regional slave trade going on in
Already
Africa. Yeah, I mean that's
before white people ever
slaves built the
entered.
damn pyramids. So they
Yeah.
say. You know what I mean? Where do you think everything? Where do you think anything of everything in fucking Africa was built?
Yeah. Did the Jews build the pyramids?
I believe aliens built the fucking pyramids before I believe Jews built them. Now, a Jew might have wrote the damn blueprints and fucking bought the slaves and
He
so
funded the operation.
yeah, funded the operation to own the pyramid or something.
I think this is just Ocean's 11.
Dog, like I do know one thing. Like all of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Think about how all them bitches were built.
Yeah. Over the time in like when
Servant
shit,
slaves, whatever you want to call them. It was the
yeah.
lower. It was the lower
Even on like
caste.
slave labor, it still took them a grip to build shit. Like they were not just popping it out. I don't think.
No, not at all. And I mean, fuck,
That's
dude,
always what kind of boggles my noggin.
there was like they had shit. Let me hit that. Day. Fucking, I'm over here scatterbrained. They
Scatterbrain.
they had fucking serfs and they had serfs and lower class people building shit since forever.
Yeah.
But it's been like that's always been a thing. There's always been that sort of hierarchy in society.
Oh, not my mic stand.
Malfunction.
Malfunction.
Butterfingers.
I've been sipping this water. This water's cranking.
Sipping on that G-Town tap.
Purified.
Okay, I'll just make sure.
Everybody, clean out fluoride in your penis.
I was just making
That was
sure.
my horrible RFK impression.
I was making sure you weren't drinking on that Royal Spring.
I do not want to drink from the spring. No, thank you.
That Royal Spring. That's where our water comes
What am
from.
I, a fucking peasant fairy? What is this?
Okay.
Is this unsettled land?
Onward from the topic of peasants and slavery because I feel like it's negative and whatnot.
Yeah, that's not.
That's not the direction we were trying to go in this. But
there's one thing I did want to say that is not like.
I was
it's not
speculating.
bad. It's actually positive. I was watching Channel 5's like reporting on like the
Tom Tucker.
Will Callahan. He does like this journalist, and it's kind of like on the middle. It's like a culture kind of thing, I guess you could say. Like there's always somebody freestyling it or whatever.
Oh my god!
It's like a TV show, but it's pretty good. But they were in DC at Howard University, and where Kamala was supposed to speak, and they were just like interviewing, like they were talking about this Gilded Age in America, where it was like I don't know if it was the years right after the Confederacy had lost and the Union soldiers opened like Howard University.
Well, the Confederate. Oh wait, yeah, they did lose some pride.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought the Confederate was the North.
And now no one will know. They're tearing the statues down.
That's
That's a good reminder that slavery does not like equal dubs in the chat. Like you got to keep the statues. Like yeah, these guys were kind of cool, but he owned slaves
I don't
and like killed people that were like that's
I don't think
Not a
the
good
free
thing.
world could exist with slavery.
Without or with?
With it, we couldn't have a democracy with slavery. I don't think.
Yeah, because then that kind of just takes away like the human
Well, I mean,
like God given rights
we
that
tried
like
that
white people were
with the
given.
2/3 or whatever the fuck it is, 2/5.
Yeah, that was some wild shit. They
Where
were out here playing math with bodies.
yeah, they were out here
That
sticking.
is awful.
They the American government was out here labeling people's worth, literally.
Yeah, by fraction.
So
The fraction just fucking sucks.
for anyone, okay, for anyone to say anything, the Suffrage Act, I think, was in the
Women's suffrage,
yeah.
African American suffrage.
I'm pretty sure all that shit.
All of it.
I'm pretty sure all that shit came like right after one another.
Okay.
Before that, those people they were still being represented under a census, even though they couldn't vote.
Yeah, and they were being used as just numbers.
Exactly.
I bet they were doing some gnarly gerrymandering back then.
Yeah, like we're never gonna actually have a true democratic election other than your locals. Your local elections are actually solely popular vote. That's why I stress to everybody, vote in your local elections because that's who's representing you in the electoral.
The electoral.
Yeah, and you don't. The presidential election is not. That's one part of what's happening on election day, or else it'd be president election day.
Oh, we're gonna get the little tag in the bottom of the video. I always like that. That's neat.
What for mentioning it?
Yeah, you're like Donald Trump AP reports. Donald Trump won the presidential election with an electoral college score of 230.
Hey, he was smashing her ass in them fucking votes all night.
Yeah.
I remember watching it. I was like, "Holy shit! Is this about to be a landslide that hard?"
Yeah, I was watching it on
I would vote for
NBC.
Tulsi Gabbard. I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard in 2020. I would have.
But
They gave the nomination to Joe Biden. I would have voted for Bernie Sanders.
Bernie could have caught my vote.
Yeah, I would have definitely voted for Bernie Sanders over fucking Donald Trump for sure.
Call him a socialist, but I mean, like, I could give it a try.
Yeah, no, it's like playing with a Ouija board.
I could give it a try for a little bit.
It's like
4 years.
Yeah, it's like being an atheist and playing with a Ouija board.
Yeah,
and seeing
bro.
that shit like actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I could. I could eat from the forbidden tree
Just
for
a little
4
bit.
years.
Not long enough to where we get concrete, like complex.
Yeah, not before we get fucking
Everything's gray.
cast out of the garden.
Yeah. I'm so glad we don't live in concrete. I'm so glad we don't live in concrete boxes.
Yeah, oh my god.
They should, like, they're still playing CS Source, like, over there, which is like an older computer competitive game, but
Over where?
in like the Eastern Bloc of like Europe, and those like communist countries. It's just like old drunk men, like
Not Sardinia, I'm fried. What is that one place? What's that one place I was mentioning that one day?
that one day.
Latavia.
Latvia.
Over there in Latvia. Latavia. That's a freaky ass word I just made up.
That is.
Lativa.
Lativa.
Latvia.
She's screaming on my Lativa until she's screaming.
I'm rubbing on that fucking Latvia. Making that Latvia salivate.
Please don't.
What a little left right there.
Stop. I'm gonna have to make this not for kids. Which I already do that.
Yeah, we needed the age restriction. This is not my responsibility if you're a child.
Yeah, but if you find out how I got around it, but you'll probably be watching something a little cooler than this.
Yeah, don't remain logged into your YouTube.
Why are these 20-year-olds talking in the knives, mommy? Oh, they're drug addicts. Turn away. Turn that off.
It's better than talking into a spoon, into a black spoon.
A black spoon, yeah.
Crusted black coal spoon.
That shit is not like. I almost said no. Man, what the fuck am I?
Yeah, you're over here trying to go play some skate.
Skate 4 coming out soon.
We get Skate 4 before GTA 6.
Yeah, God willing.
Well, speaking of the Eastern Bloc, I give it about 2 months before we are out of the war with, not we, but to the war with the Ukraine. The Ukraine laundering operation is over.
The laundering operation. Yeah. I don't know. Didn't they just sign something saying they were giving long distance like airstrike shit to the Ukraine?
That's crazy.
Like,
I would hope we're not going that direction with them.
I can't believe I don't know the word for this. I read it earlier.
It's been a long day,
It has.
long Sunday.
I can keep getting my days mixed up, and I'm like, oh, it's Sunday after I keep getting like fantasy notifications.
Dude, how about that? Did you watch any of the fights last night?
I just saw the clips everyone else saw.
Yeah. Oh, I watched the last two. I watched the Charles Oliveira and the John Jones fight.
Hmm.
I really wanted to see John Jones lose. I don't like the inactivity for Mr. Bones. Steve's a legend, and of course Charlie came through. I knew he would. The champ has a name. He's illuminated by God.
John Jones?
No, Charlie Holmes. John Jones is John Jones is a fucking twerp.
A twerp?
Yeah, he's a twerp for real. He's a snake. Uh, but speaking of fights, the Jake Paul Mike Tyson, that was sad, bro. When I went back and actually watched it, it was dog water.
I can't believe I watched. I mean, I watched probably an hour of that shit. Like, not just their fight. Like, I watched like 2 fights before that, and it was a
It was
little.
buns.
I missed the women's fight.
But
Yeah, the women's fight was like an actual like
yeah, no,
fight.
the
Like
other
with
fights
real
were like
fighters.
kind of better for real.
Yeah.
But I can't believe how many people tried to argue with me that Jake was gonna lose.
And I know nothing about the sport. I know nothing about boxing, and I know nothing. Right? I know Mike Tyson's good. Yeah, and like all the normal people, everyone knows that
And
boxing.
he's 58. You know
Yeah.
that.
I saw people were saying like talking about his legs.
Yeah, that and he was pulling punches too. It did look a little sus.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's always gonna say it's fucking rigged or something.
Yeah, but I
Because
mean,
there's always a chance that there is. I'm not disparaging it at all.
I
Like, for
just
sure.
for him to not knock him down once, I would have thought he would have knocked him down once.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
He punched him in the neck. He kind of. It looked like he ate that. He like emo. Jake Paul emoted.
yeah, no, Jake Paul definitely is. He was a tank this fight, but I
Yeah.
mean, that was a fluke for real. That fight was lucky dog shit.
I mean, I was watching I follow Mike Tyson on Instagram, and I was like seeing the videos he's posting. Like, oh my god,
He's looking a
how
lot
old is
more.
this guy? How like he looks like he's like a normal aged man.
He's looking ferocious for a 57-year-old. Yeah,
And you got like what? I don't know how there's
that is like
eight
not.
blood transfusions or whatever. I saw that.
He was having health scares and shit. They had to
Yeah,
reschedule the fight
and
at
that
least
made me think
once.
it was like being hyped up. That's my little tinfoil hat moment. Like, sprained his ankle,
My little
push it back 18 weeks.
is that your little tinfoil bowl?
Yeah,
On
yeah.
it?
It actually works as a hat.
Put it on where it uses as a hat after you get done fucking rolling it. That's fucking comedy.
Fucking tinfoil. I don't even like to look at tinfoil
Me neither.
anymore.
I literally like want to throw a whole roll of tinfoil away as soon as I see it.
I'll be fucking with saran wrap. I'm saran wrap gang now.
Yeah, there's no.
Keep it on the plate.
Unless you're like, unless you're actually trying
Like
to keep something
cooking
warm.
with it. When
Yeah,
I cook with it, I'll touch it. But
yeah. I'll put it on. I'll put it in the oven. Make a makeshift pan or something.
uh,
Thank God we survived. I fucking survived three pandemics, three epidemics.
the Zandemic.
The Zandemic, the pandemic, the fentdemic.
pansexual, damn it.
The
The
pansexual
gays.
demic.
The gays came out in full force.
Oh my goodness.
They're so proud, and I love it.
Me too.
It's some flavor.
I love their energy, man.
They keep it going though.
I love their energy, and I love their drive to keep that alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they throw a fit
Like,
when
yeah, no,
provoked. Like
yeah,
as a
no.
group, like
They're
I mean, like
forced.
they riot and they set in the middle of the road, right? I mean
They're a
that's
force to be reckoned with.
if anyone's setting in the middle of the road, I mean I don't know. I'm not
I'm
setting in the
running
middle
their
of the
ass
road for
over.
anything.
I'm running your ass over respectfully, but I can respect what you stand for. But I'm gonna run you the fuck over.
You should sit there like
I'm not gonna honk at you. I'm not gonna be rude. I'm just gonna simply run over your legs. Get out of the fucking road. I'm allowed to run you over.
Did you know one of those ladies had to not go to Pilates that day to set in the middle of the road?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can tell you one thing about that though. Is there really any peaceful protesting nowadays?
I don't
I
know.
don't think you get your point across that way.
Maybe it's just a fad.
I think the only type of peaceful protest you could do is boycott.
Yeah.
What do you think about the women shaving their heads and swearing celibacy because Donald Trump got elected? You think that's what do you think about that?
I don't know. Could just be a Twitter high.
It could just be a trend.
I don't even know. That doesn't.
You ain't heard
I don't
that?
know. I don't know the scoop on that. I don't know why they would do that.
I'm not too familiar with it. I mean,
What provokes one to do
I
that?
don't think any girl I personally know has seen it. I've just seen clips and shit about it, and I
Yeah.
think that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody has to know everything. You don't have everybody doesn't need to know everything.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go that way,
I don't like.
if
Yeah,
you're gonna swing that way until Donald Trump's out of office, swing that way until he's out of office. But if you posting it online makes it just seem like an attention grab, and not only that, but like when you break that oath you're making, you've now embarrassed yourself.
Yeah, taking an oath.
Shave your head, swear celibacy.
You got to commit to the cause.
You got to commit.
If you're a revolutionary.
You better
I am
you
a
better
revolutionary.
you better hit the Cirillis or the Spencer's.
Yeah.
You better hit the adult store. You better download.
If you're not shaving your head, not having nasty sex in a dorm room,
right? You better, right? You better, you better go to the store. Get yourself together. Download a VPN.
Why do you need a VPN? What's a VPN for?
Keep you safe while you're, surfing the web.
What are these women looking at?
Man, you don't have to worry about.
I've never really thought about that. Are they as sick and depraved?
I don't know. I think it'd be harder. I think it'd be harder for a woman to be fulfilled off of that than a man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think women realize this, but there's dudes who go fucking 15, 20 years, no ass. Straight. They just can't get it.
Yeah.
And they're addicted to porn.
Yeah. That's where that AI stuff gets a little sticky.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
We need a sound.
Come Joe.
That's why we need a soundboard.
Splat.
No, it's like yeah, you hit the little horn. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's gonna be a short night tonight too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the war zone. It's been treating me well.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna move this shit. We're gonna do K-hole streaming too.
I'm excited. I just gotta get the hardware.
We just need
Go fund me for my breast cancer surgery, and we can pocket it.
We need to get Mic or like we need to get good mics and probably like the stand ones, you know?
Yeah.
Stand.
The fork method, I mean, maybe we should try the fork method, but the knife method right now works well with 2 people, but 3 gets a little dicey.
Oh yeah.
A little dicey, but it's cool. It's a little dicey.
We need to do like
Sorry.
Zoom
It's okay.
Zoom or Skype interviews or something like that's how we'll have our guests.
Be just way too close to the camera, just a
Turn
little
this
too much in there. Hey, how are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
turn this
We're
in,
on.
turn this into ESPN real fast.
I want to be like the Pat McAfee show.
And like the Skip Bayless show.
Skip it.
You don't know Skip Bayless?
I don't think so. Is he a college game day guy?
Nah, he's the one who always be with Uncle Shannon Sharp. He's the one. They're the ones that always argue about LeBron.
Host of Club Shay Shay?
He's not the host, but he's like you would recognize him if you see him. He's that little white dude who just looks like a fucking hobbit.
He's got some hair missing around right here. It
Probably.
just goes around the rib.
Yeah, I believe so. I love listening.
I think that was like 50 people that work at ESPN right there.
It's most of them never.
I like sport numbers. Sport numbers are really cool.
Who you got? The 2015, 2016, no, I'll say the 2017, 2018 Warriors. Or
Weren't they cold in 2015? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
03 Lakers.
Um,
The Kobe and Shaq Lakers.
yes.
Or
basketball
the KD Steph
Westbrook.
And the
Oh,
KD
never mind. I
Steph.
thought you were naming off the OKC team.
It's the KD Steph and Klay Thompson team versus the Kobe and Shaq.
We can play this on 2K16.
Simulator.
A little stimulated.
Nah, I think you have to get all the way up to like 2K22 for that one.
Yeah. I just played 2K16. I just played 2K16, and that's the only 2K I've ever dabbled in.
I've dabbled in pretty much all of them.
Online sport games are kind of not my thing.
The new Undisputed is pretty solid too. The new boxing game.
Yeah, those are fun. I will say those are fun.
Fight Night.
Those are just those are fighting games. That's not a sport game to me, right?
Yeah.
That's just a fighting game. That's just Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's overrated, though, in my opinion.
It's really complicated. To be like good at it. It's a lot of combinations. I don't do combinations.
I do combinations, but not that many fucking combinations.
I'm too retarded for that. I do not have the ability for the combinations.
I'm too fucking brain damaged for that.
I used to have to write down my cheats for the Nintendo 64 as a child. My dad would get them off the internet.
Oh my god, I used to do that for Saints Row.
I was not allowed to play that, but I do have the experience of the cheats. Because GTA is like the only cheats I've ever used.
You weren't allowed to play Saints Row, but you were allowed to play GTA?
No. I'm just saying, as like, when I got older, I was like, I'm going over to this person's house. I'm going to play GTA. I'm going to go to the strip club.
I'm going to see some animated titties.
Please.
Yeah, I don't even know where to see titties, but I'm going to see them on
I'm going to find them.
I'll find my way to the titties somehow. Brain rotted?
Not halfway. Not too much, but...
At least we weren't iPad kids raised on it. I didn't have a phone until I was fucking 12 or 13.
I hit the iPad kid stage in like late elementary school.
That's sad.
Yeah.
It's alright, though.
It's alright. It was just like watching TV. I was still going outside and shit, but...
I was strictly outside. I was too poor. We were too poor for all that. I played too many sports, too. That's one thing I was poor, but I played sports with all the rich kids, though.
Yeah.
And I'd be like the only one who was on the team, like naturally instead of like politically.
Yeah.
It was stupid. Hashtag Scott County basketball. They ruined my hoop dreams. I mean, I'm only 5'10", but shit, I could have for real cooked in some high school basketball.
You'd been a nice little small forward.
Nah, I'd have had to run the one.
Oh,
I'd have had
yeah.
to. I would have been too small. Because I
Nah,
was
you were
big.
what the fuck? You were built like a piece of meat.
I could like move people, but I'd have had to run that. I probably would have had to run that one. Uh, I know for a fact. I was, I would have been like a physical. Damn, I would have been like a
Got in the
physical bully,
yard.
dude. I'm so tired. I've been up since 6, and I'm about to be up till 2.
That line work will get you. The hours.
Yeah, no, night. It's that nighttime. That night shift work will
Mm-mm-mm.
fuck you up.
Mm-mm-mm. I need to sleep during that time. That's my sleep time.
That's every human's natural sleep time.
Yeah.
Like,
Nighttime is my sleep time.
like my body starts releasing melatonin as soon as the sun goes down. I mean, everyone's does, but mine releases a lot.
Dude, that's why I love Sleepy Winter. Sleepy Winter is my favorite. Chill, calm, Sleepy Winter.
Real quiet outside.
Nothing going on. There's no going abouts.
Yeah, it's too fucking cold for all that.
And there's just enough snow to where it's not like a problem. Like our power lines aren't freezing every year because of
Our pipes aren't
the
bursting.
freezing rain that
Yeah,
kills animals in the homeless.
we have very cold winters and very hot summers, and very mild springs, or very mild falls and very wet springs.
Yeah. That Kentucky weather, am I right?
Yeah, it's
Such a fucking stupid joke, and I hate it.
I think it's worse probably in Tennessee.
Oh, that Tennessee weather, it's just something else, ain't it?
Pollen country.
Oh, that pollen level is just so high this year. Oh my goodness.
I found out I have incested family members.
This has been Down the K-Hole with Dave and Joe Flynn.
Yeah, I was about to say it's getting to me about that time.
That has to be its own thing.
A cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Good little cliffhanger.
That's a whole another hour in itself.
Dog, I'm fucking fried. I wanted to get more specifically into the implementation of the tariffs, and the Trump administration. People are freaking out.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe there's anything to fret about. I believe that the tariffs that he's placing are on amongst some of the biggest exporters in the world, like I've said, and that with doing that, and him cutting federal income tax, I think in turn be able to drive the wages up.
The wages go up when the tariffs go up.
Yes, or at least stimulates the economy.
Gets it flowing again. People buying shit.
Hella flow. Well, it just puts more money into the economy. I don't know. If you look at it like a budget.
So you can go buy Netflix subscriptions instead of pay off your loans. Like the good American.
Well, it might create more jobs. We'll start making shit. We'll start making more shit in America instead of exporting it from China or importing it from China.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a nice trade. This is not a nice trade yet.
Dude, fucking.
So I'm doing as much for society as the homeless man is, but they're probably doing a little more.
Yeah,
they bring some joy.
I'm definitely paying fucking taxes for schools and shit, and police force.
My face when I pay taxes for sure.
If I'm gonna pay taxes, I want to pay taxes for like Social Security, like fucking universal health care, fucking.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people in the mid
can agree. Everyone can agree with that.
Universal health care is kind of sick.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And if you're one of those people who's like, well, where's the money going to come from? You sound like a fucking corporatist. You sound like someone who's going to get taxed. What you're supposed to be taxed.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to pay.
Hey, what if...
You're going to have to pay. Like, people, the rich care about this topic because they look at it like
How much does it cost to fund this? How much does universal health
they're
care
looking
cost?
at it like, oh, I got to pay more taxes, and I'm
Yeah.
basically going to be funding more than one person. It's not like that. It's like it has like you can't pay the same amount of taxes I pay, me making $2,000 to $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? And you make fucking $25,000 a month. That can never work like that.
Yeah.
You would have to at least be taxed my income a month.
Yeah.
And that's how we bring the middle class back too.
The middle class needs to buy shit too. They need some spending money.
The middle class is dead.
Who's gonna fill up Florida, Nevada, New York? Where are you gonna get your tourists? You need the middle class. You need us.
What are we gonna do?
You need us rich and powerful people.
What are we gonna do about fucking federally legal marijuana?
Federally legal marijuana. I think that should be the state's thing.
You think so?
Yes. Or the FDA could do some shit. I mean, haven't they already, I'd say?
Well, yeah, the FDA has to regulate it. I believe it'd be something massive we could tax, but I don't want the government in my fucking corn.
Government and the drug is never a good time.
Yeah, last time they were involved.
I could talk about that forever.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That's when my hat goes on, and I get freaky with it.
Yeah, you get real greasy,
Yeah.
like with it. Yeah, I know the feeling, buddy.
Destroyed the entire East Coast for generations, and it will continue to do that.
It was an attempt to incarcerate a bunch of minorities, a bunch of enemies,
Just the lower class.
a bunch of
real hard. That's a good contact.
Because I got
That's a good stem. Had to stem real quick. My bad.
Yeah, I was stemming a little bit.
Had to hit the stemming.
Me and the Nick, maybe I won't stem as hard. You both chuck some clouds, both some O's for the camera. Yeah, you guys want to see you lose
Dude, this
song was so cold to throw some O's too. Bring it around.
Full send for the end of the episode. I'm gonna put some sick music in right here.